Jaxson Dart is the current favorite to win Offensive Rookie of the Year and has saved the New York Giants from poverty. But how did this all start? A kid from Utah is lighting up the Big Apple, but how good is he actually? Born May 13, 2003 in Kaysville, Utah, Jaxson Dart was raised in a football family. His father, Brandon Dart, played safety at the University of Utah, and football wasn't just a sport in their household, it was a language. From the moment he could walk, Jaxson was competing. Backyard football, little league, even basketball. He wasn't the biggest or the flashiest, but he was driven. That chip on his shoulder would follow him for years. Dart showed promise early on, but it wasn't until he transferred to Corner Canyon High in Draper, Utah, that his legend began. And it wasn't just a good season, it was historic. In 2020, his senior year, Dart exploded for 5,521 passing yards, 67 touchdowns, and just 4 interceptions. He added 1,195 rushing yards and 12 touchdowns on the ground. That's not a typo. He accounted for nearly 80 touchdowns. He led Corner Canyon to a 14-0 record and a Class 6A state championship. He didn't dominate, he did it in clutch moments. Fourth quarter drives, game-winning scrambles, highlight throws across his body. When the lights were brightest, Dart's game went up a level. By the end of that season, he was named Gatorade Player of the Year, Max Preps Player of the Year, and the number 10 quarterback in the 2021 recruiting class. Rated as a 4-star prospect by 24/7 Sports and Rivals. He wasn't a 5-star blue blood recruit from Texas or Florida. He was a 4-star recruit from lowly Utah. He was the Utah kid who took the recruiting world by storm, a gunslinger with fire in his eyes and confidence that couldn't be coached. Dart committed to the University of Southern California in December 2020, drawn by the Trojans' history of quarterbacks Carson Palmer, Matt Leinart, and Sam Darnold. And when he got there, he didn't take long to make his presence felt. In just his first career game in 2021 against Washington State, Dart threw for 391 yards and 4 touchdowns, rallying USC from an early deficit to a 42-14 win. He only got into the game due to starting quarterback Keon Slavis getting injured. That passing yard number broke the record for most passing yards in a game in a debut game by a USC quarterback. It was previously held by JT Daniels, who was 282 passing yards, which was over 100 yards short of this game. It was chaos.
It's London for the touchdown!
Improvisation, and confidence all rolled into one performance. His ability to throw on the move, his poise when the pocket collapsed, and his willingness to take deep shots gave USC fans hope. Even though he battled a meniscus injury that year, he still finished with 1,353 yards, 9 touchdowns, and a completion rate near 62% in just 6 games. But then, everything changed. After the season, USC fired head coach Clay Helton.
News here on CBS Sports HQ, Clay Helton has been fired.
And brought in Lincoln Riley, along with Heisman contender Caleb Williams. Rather than sit and wait, he bet on himself again. He entered the transfer portal. In early 2022, Jaxson Dart announced his next chapter. He was heading to Oxford, Mississippi, to play for Lane Kiffin and the Ole Miss Rebels. Kiffin wanted a quarterback with swagger, toughness, and mobility, and Dart checked all 3 boxes. But joining the SEC meant one thing: no more easy defenses, no more soft schedules. Every Saturday would be a war. 2022 was Dart's full year in the SEC, and it was brutal. Ole Miss started 8-1 before collapsing down the stretch, finishing 8-5. Dart threw for 2,974 yards, 20 touchdowns, and 11 interceptions, completing just over 62% of his passes. He flashed brilliance, like his 448-yard shootout versus Vanderbilt and a gritty win over Kentucky.
Batted out of the air! It's a free ball! Jared Ivey knocked it out for Ole Miss!
But also showed the learning curve of facing SEC defenses week after week. Still, his leadership stood out. Kiffin trusted him, and for Dart, those growing pains became his foundation. By 2023, something clicked. Dart became stronger, faster, and smarter. He led Ole Miss to an 11-2 season, including wins over LSU and Texas A&M. In that 59-49 thriller against LSU, Dart threw for 389 yards, 4 total touchdowns, and led the Rebels on a game-winning drive with just 39 seconds left. It was chaos. The stadium was shaking, and Jaxson Dart stood in the middle of it all, calm, collected, and clutch. He finished the 2023 season with 3,364 passing yards, 23 touchdowns, and 5 interceptions, adding 389 yards and 8 rushing scores. He earned second-team All-SEC honors, putting his name officially on NFL draft boards. Then came 2024, the season that turned Jaxson Dart from maybe to must-draft. By now, he was the leader of the locker room, the heartbeat of Lane Kiffin's offense. Ole Miss went 12-2. 12-1, finishing top 10 nationally and winning the Peach Bowl over Penn State. In that bowl game, Dart torched one of the best defenses in the country for 379 yards and 3 touchdowns, earning Offensive MVP. For the season, he posted 4,279 yards, 29 touchdowns, just 6 interceptions, and a 69% completion rate, one of the most efficient seasons in SEC history. He wasn't just putting up stats, he was dissecting defenses, controlling tempo, and showing NFL anticipation throws, the kind that separate college stars from professionals. He finished his career as Ole Miss's all-time leader in passing yards, 10,617, total offense, 12,115, and wins by a starting QB, 28. A Utah kid rewriting record books in the heart of the South. The SEC didn't just make Dart better, it hardened him. Every week, he faced future NFL defenders, Georgia, Alabama, LSU. Disguised blitzes, press man coverage, relentless pass rushes. He learned to recognize coverages pre-snap, manipulate safeties with his eyes, and throw from muddy pockets. He took hits, real hits, and kept standing tall. That kind of trial by fire is what separates the college standouts from NFL ready. And for Dart, those experiences built confidence and calm that no practice rep could simulate. April 25th, 2005, NFL Draft, Detroit, Michigan. The New York Giants had already made their move. They traded back into the first round, and with the 25th overall pick, they selected Jaxson Dart.
With the 25th pick in the 2025 NFL Draft, the New York Giants select Jaxson Dart, quarterback, Mississippi.
Quarterback, Ole Miss. The camera panned to Dart's family. Tears, relief, pride. The journey from Utah high school prodigy to SEC warrior to first-round NFL quarterback was complete. Giants GM Joe Schoen called Dart the toughest quarterback in the draft, a leader who's been through wars and come out sharper every year. And for Jaxson, this was just the beginning, because every late night in Oxford, every SEC blitz, every drop of sweat on the practice field, it all led to this. Going into his rookie season, the Giants had signed 2 veteran quarterbacks, Super Bowl winning quarterback Russell Wilson and former Heisman Trophy QB Jameis Winston. This definitely would make it tough for Dart to get much playing time in his rookie season. Early on in training camp, in one of his first live throws in camp, he threw a pick 6. It was a brutal moment, but a great time for Dart to learn from his mistakes, in which he later spoke to the DB about it.
We gotta learn from our mistakes, acknowledge some of the good things that we did. And
after this, the team posted signs banning videotape during team periods. Then, later in camp, he bounced back. They had a red zone situation drill where they turned the headsets off. Dart couldn't hear play calling from his coaches. This was no problem for Dart. He called his own play that resulted in an L. Jordan Humphrey back shoulder fade catch. Lots of this showing Dart wasn't getting rattled from early mistakes. Instead, he chose to learn from them. Every year, the NFL preseason gives fans a glimpse at the next generation of quarterbacks. Most rookies stumble, some flash. But in the summer of 2025, Jaxson Dart didn't just flash, he looked ready. From a dual-threat gunslinger at Ole Miss to lighting up the preseason for the New York Giants, this is how Jaxson Dart's first taste of the NFL turned heads. Week 1 of the preseason, the Battle of New York. Jaxson Dart's first NFL action came under the lights of MetLife Stadium against the team that shares the same turf. From the opening drive, you could feel the confidence. Dart completed 14 of 16 passes, a near-perfect 87% for 137 yards and a touchdown. His timing on point.
Dart, Dulcich, touchdown Giants!
His reads sharp, his movement, everything scouts raved about from his Ole Miss days. But what really got the crowd buzzing was his legs. Dart broke out of the pocket, made 2 defenders miss, and dove into the end zone for his first rushing touchdown as a pro.
2nd and goal, Dart keeps it for the touchdown.
He finished his debut night with 2 total touchdowns. 1 through the air, 1 on the ground, and no turnovers. The moment said it all. The Giants might have found their spark. A week later, Dart faced the Buffalo Bills. Different defense, same confidence. He went 12 for 19 for 154 yards and another touchdown, pushing his preseason totals to nearly 300 yards and 3 scores in just 2 games. One play stood out. A 35-yard dime dropped perfectly over the corner's shoulder, hitting his receiver in stride. That throw, that's NFL timing. And when the Bills turned up the heat with pressure looks, Dart didn't panic. He stepped up, found his checkdowns, and kept the offense moving. Giants head coach Brian Daboll praised his command, saying he's making progress every day. The game's slowing down for him. Through 2 games, Dart was confident, composed, and showing that Ole Miss poise on an NFL stage. The final preseason test came against Bill Belichick's defense, a system known for confusing rookies. If Dart wanted to prove he was NFL ready, this was the game to do it. He went 16 for 12 for 81 yards, tossing his 3rd passing touchdown of the preseason.
Clean pocket, fires, caught, touchdown!
A red zone strike that capped off a perfectly executed 2-minute drive. It wasn't flawless though. Midway through the 2nd quarter, Dart scrambled for 23 yards on a broken play. but got hit hard, fumbling as he went down. He was briefly checked for a concussion, but cleared to return. And when he came back in, he didn't flinch. He delivered another efficient drive, showing the same fearless playmaking that defined his Ole Miss career. By the end of the preseason, Dart's line read like a veteran's resume. 32 completions on 47 attempts, 372 yards, 3 passing touchdowns, 1 rushing touchdown, 0 interceptions. In 3 games, Jaxson Dart proved he wasn't just another rookie learning the ropes. He was composed, athletic, and ready to compete. It's easy to overhype preseason stats, but the tape told the truth. Dart was reading defenses cleanly. He extended plays with his legs. He showed a command of Brian Dable's offense that few rookies pick up that fast. His play reminded fans what made him special at Ole Miss, a quarterback who thrives in chaos, moves with confidence, and delivers when the pocket collapses. For the first 3 weeks of the 2025 NFL season, Jaxson Dart waited. He watched from the sideline, holding a clipboard, headset on, learning behind a veteran. But after 3 straight losses, the Giants needed a spark, and in week 4, Brian Dable made the call. The rookie from Ole Miss was getting his shot. The opponent, the Los Angeles Chargers, a playoff-level defense full of speed and disguised coverages. Not exactly an easy debut, but from his first drive, Dart looked like he belonged. He moved with purpose, scanned the field, and on 3rd and goal, wrote the pocket and sprinted into the end zone.
To run again by Dart, 1st and 10, he'll take it in! His first career touchdown!
For his first career touchdown, a 15-yard rush that had the crowd on its feet. He wasn't done. A few drives later, he found tight end Theo Johnson on a short shovel pass near the goal line.
Shovel pass caught, that's touchdown, Theo Johnson!
Giving him his first passing touchdown as a pro. The stat line wasn't gaudy. 13 completions on 20 attempts, 111 yards through the air, 54 yards on the ground, 2 total touchdowns. But it was efficient, clean, and fearless. Dart became the second player since 2000 to post a passing TD, a rushing TD, and 50 rushing yards in his first NFL start. The Giants beat the Chargers 21-18, snapping their losing streak and igniting hope that maybe, just maybe, they found their quarterback of the future. What impressed coaches wasn't the box score, it was his poise. He made smart reads, protected the football, and when the pocket collapsed, he didn't panic. He trusted his legs, his instincts, and his preparation. After the game, Dable summed it up in 4 words. This is just the start. Week 5 came fast, and the Giants hit the road to face the New Orleans Saints, one of the most complex defenses in football. Early in the game, Dart showed his command again, hitting Theo Johnson twice for touchdowns on the first 2 drives.
Play action, Dart, end zone, wide open, touchdown! Looking his way, and it's caught for a touchdown!
The Saints threw pressure, disguised zone looks, and tried to rattle the rookie, but Dart handled it with composure, sliding in the pocket, taking checkdowns, and showing an ability to adjust mid-drive. He didn't light up the stat sheet, but he looked steady, and that steadiness mattered for a team trying to build rhythm. Then came the true test, Week 6, primetime, against the Philadelphia Eagles. Division rivalry, the type of game that breaks some rookies and crowns others. In the first quarter, Dart looked calm. He went 17 of 25 passing for 195 yards, threw a touchdown, and added 58 yards on the ground. When the Eagles blitzed, he used his legs to escape and extend plays. When they dropped deep, he stayed patient, finding soft spots underneath. It was a scare midway through the second quarter when he took a hard hit, scrambling, and had to leave briefly for a concussion check. But minutes later, he jogged back onto the field, helmet strapped, and the crowd roared. That moment, that resilience, said more than any stat line could. The Giants went on to beat Philadelphia 34-17, their biggest statement win of the season. Through those first few starts, Dart showed exactly why coaches believed in him. He wasn't trying to play hero ball. He played smart, controlled, and fearless football. His mobility wasn't just a bonus, it was a weapon. There were still growing pains, late throws, misreads, a few sacks he could have avoided, but those are lessons every young quarterback has to learn. The difference with Dart is how quickly he adjusts. Each week, he looked sharper, more in rhythm, and more confident running Dable's offense. Week 7 in Denver felt like a heavyweight fight that wouldn't end. For 3 quarters, the Giants dominated. Dart threw 2 touchdowns early.
He goes, winding up, going, he's got him! Touchdown! Bellinger!
Guiding New York to a 19-0 lead. His composure, footwork, and tempo control made the offense look effortless. But in the 4th quarter, everything started to unravel. Missed tackles, special team errors, a defense that suddenly couldn't get off the field. The Broncos clawed all the way back, and with just a minute remaining, Denver took a 30-26 lead.
By balls! Touchdown, Denver!
That's when Jaxson Dart took over. Starting deep in his own territory, it got down to a 4th and 19 where Dart made a huge throw to Wan'Dale Robinson. Later on in the drive, a QB run was called for Dart, and he drove across the line for the go-ahead rushing touchdown. MetLife might have been hundreds of miles away, but the Giants sideline exploded. Dart had just led a game-winning drive on the road, capping it with his own legs, his 4th touchdown of the day. But his kicker missed another extra point, meaning a field goal would lose it for the Giants.
And he missed that one again!
But the story didn't end there. The defense couldn't finish the job. Denver drove the length of the field in under half a minute, hit a 39-yard field goal just as time expired.
Field goal for the win. He got it. Denver's won.
And stole a 33-32 win. Dart finished with 283 yards, 3 passing touchdowns, 1 rushing touchdown, and a single interception, the best game of his young career. And somehow, one that ended in heartbreak. Cameras caught him afterward on the sideline, helmet off, staring blankly into the night. He'd done everything right, and still it wasn't enough. A week later, the pain deepened in Philadelphia. The Giants entered Week 8 looking to bounce back, but the game turned ugly fast. The Eagles' front dominated the first drive. In a string of questionable calls, the push fumble ruled forward progress, Slayton called for a questionable push-off, left New York's sideline seething. The worst moment of the game was when running back Cam Scatabo, Dart's rookie teammate and closest locker room ally, went down with a gruesome ankle injury after a second quarter pass. Dart was one of the first to kneel beside him, visibly shaken as the cart rolled out. Without Scatabo, the offense sputtered. Dart still fought, scrambling, taking hits, trying to keep drives alive, but the game slipped away. The Giants fell 38-20 in a night overshadowed by officiating frustrations and the loss of their starting running back. Afterward, Dart posted a message to Cam on social media, calling him a brother and promising to keep fighting the way you would. 2 weeks, 2 heartbreaks, one decided by a defense that couldn't close, another by injuries and circumstance. And through it all, Jaxson Dart kept showing why the Giants believed in him. Toughness, leadership, and the unshakable will to compete until the final whistle. Mid-season, the Giants offense had life again. So far, Jaxson Dart's rookie year has been about more than stats or highlights. It's about proving he belongs in the league. His first start showed his spark. His next few showed his grit. And now, every snap he takes builds the case that the kid from Ole Miss might just be the Giants' future. This is only the beginning of the Jaxson Dart era. Jaxson Dart's job of saving the franchise looks to be complete. He's saving Brian Dable's job, but can he keep this up all season? What do you guys think?